For the first 30 seconds of this video, imagine discovering that the cheerful worlds of classic Mario games hide disturbing ideas, unsettling patterns, strange implications, and eerie details that most players never noticed. Because today we are uncovering the creepiest secrets hidden in classic Mario games, from bizarre theories about the Mushroom Kingdom to unsettling level designs, looping worlds, silent characters, and game mechanics that accidentally suggest something far darker than Nintendo ever intended. And by the end of this video, you will never look at Super Mario Bros. The same way again. At first glance, classic Mario games look like the safest place in gaming history, full of bright colors, happy music, bouncing mushrooms, smiling clouds, and a mustached plumber who seems incapable of fear. But the moment you slow down and start questioning what is actually happening on screen, the Mushroom Kingdom begins to feel less like a magical land and more like a strange, unsettling experiment trapped inside an endless loop. Mario never speaks, never questions his mission, never shows doubt, and never stops moving forward. Which is funny at first until you realize that Mario exists in a world where everything resets the moment he fails, where death has no consequence except repetition, and where his entire reality might be a never-ending nightmare disguised as a platformer. One of the creepiest secrets hiding in classic Mario games is the idea that the Mushroom Kingdom is populated by victims rather than citizens. Because according to the original Super Mario Bros. Manual, Bowser turned the peaceful inhabitants into bricks, blocks, and scenery, meaning that every time Mario smashes a brick to collect coins, he may actually be destroying what remains of someone who used to be alive, and suddenly that's satisfying. Crunch sound becomes a lot less innocent when you consider that Mario is literally breaking his own people to fund his journey. Then there is the unsettling silence of Princess Peach, a character who is always missing, always captured, always waiting, and always repeating the same cycle of rescue, disappearance, and reset, which raises the uncomfortable question of whether Peach is truly a ruler, a victim, or simply a symbol trapped in a story that never allows her to escape. Because no matter how many times Mario saves her, the next game always begins with her gone again, as if the universe itself refuses to let this story end. The enemies of classic Mario games are another source of creeping discomfort, because Goombas, Koopas, and other creatures do not behave like villains with motives, plans, or emotions, but instead move in repetitive robotic patterns, walking back and forth endlessly until Mario jumps on them, which gives the impression that they are not evil beings but mindless obstacles, perhaps cursed, programmed, or stripped of free will, making Mario less of a hero and more of an unstoppable force cutting through a world that cannot fight back. Even the level design itself feels strangely hostile when you think about it for too long, because pits appear without warning, platforms float without support, castles look more like traps than homes, and lava flows sit directly beneath narrow bridges, as if the world was designed not to be lived in but to test endurance, reaction time, and obedience, which supports the unsettling theory that the Mushroom Kingdom is not a natural world but a constructed environment built solely to push Mario forward without rest. Warp pipes, one of the most iconic features of Mario, also hide a subtle creepiness because they instantly transport Mario across vast distances without explanation, logic, or visible connection, creating the uncomfortable idea that space itself is broken in this universe. And when you consider the infamous warp zones that allow Mario to skip entire worlds, it feels less like a secret reward and more like proof that reality in Mario's world is unstable, fragmented, and easily bypassed. Another disturbing detail lies in the endless time pressure, because nearly every Mario level includes a countdown timer that forces Mario to keep moving, never stopping to explore, reflect, or question his surroundings. And when the timer reaches zero, Mario simply dies, as if the world itself refuses to exist unless it is being actively completed, turning time into a weapon rather than a neutral force. The idea of infinite lives makes things even stranger, because while players see extra lives as a helpful mechanic, from a story perspective it suggests that Mario cannot truly die, meaning he is trapped in an endless cycle of failure and rebirth, repeating the same actions forever, which turns him from a heroic character into a prisoner of the game's logic, endlessly running, jumping, and dying for the entertainment of someone beyond the screen. Even the cheerful music becomes unsettling when you realize how it loops endlessly, restarting every time a level resets, playing the same happy melody regardless of how many times Mario falls into a pit or burns in lava, creating a disturbing emotional disconnect where suffering is masked by upbeat tunes, reinforcing the idea that the world does not care about Mario's pain as long as the game continues. Some of the creepiest secrets are found in the backgrounds, where ghost houses feature doors that lead nowhere, hallways that loop infinitely, and rooms that deliberately confuse the player, making progress feel impossible unless you already know the solution, which gives these levels a psychological horror element where confusion, repetition, and disorientation become the main enemies rather than monsters. Even Bowser, the supposed villain, starts to feel less monstrous when viewed through this lens, because he often appears alone at the end of castles, guarding nothing but another reset of the same story, suggesting that he might be just as trapped as everyone else, endlessly playing his role in a script that never allows a true ending, which makes the entire conflict feel artificial and strangely tragic. When you combine all these elements, the broken space, the looping time, the silent characters, the trapped citizens, the endless resets, and the forced progression, classic Mario games begin to resemble a surreal, unsettling dream where logic exists only to serve the rules of play. And the longer you think about it, the more the Mushroom Kingdom feels like a digital limbo where happiness is painted on top of something deeply wrong. What makes these secrets truly creepy is not that Nintendo intended them, but that they emerge naturally when simple mechanics collide with imagination, nostalgia, and curiosity, turning innocent design choices into haunting implications that stay with you long after the screen fades to black. If this video made you question your childhood games, laugh at the absurdity, and feel slightly uncomfortable about jumping on bricks ever again, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment sharing which Mario secret creeped you out the most, and share this video with other gamers who think they know classic Mario, because the Mushroom Kingdom is much stranger than it looks.